Welcome to SovCit Classics. Here we rewatch and comment on all the old classics we so enjoy. So go ahead, grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, let's watch this video. In this video we are in Judge Middleton's courtroom where a newbie SovCit is before the judge. And the judge allows him to say everything he wants to say and, make his argument as to why he should be able to drive without a license and not pay, insurance, all that kind of stuff. And then the judge just destroys that narrative. Very cool video. Let's watch it. Should you feel generous and want to buy me a coffee or two, there is a PayPal link down below. Right, enough talking. Let's get on to the video.
Mr. Hicks, why don't you come on up and talk to you, or Mr. Aiken? That was Miss Hicks.
You're on special appearance in Vine.
All right, well, we'll talk about that here. This is file number, what's that?
You're on special appearance in the Divine and Living.
Okay, could you hand that to me? Well, first let me call the case. This is file number 222036SM. I'll give this back to you. You don't want to lose this. This is a birth certificate for Justin Michael Aiken, who happens to be the person that got this citation, Justin Michael Aiken. I don't want to keep that. I don't want you to lose it. You need it. Anyway, that's you. Mr. Aiken, you're here under one appearance or another. You got a citation charging with having no insurance. The last lady had the same charge. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail, a fine of up to $500 and not less than $200. The second count is the one that carries a driving suspension. That's called driving suspended. Misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500.
Well, there you go. Nothing really serious, right? I'm positive the judge did not want to put the guy in jail for those two, what do you call it, transgressions? I know what you call it. It's nothing serious. Pay your fines, get your life in order, off you go. But now we have a SovCit, and at this point in time in his life, a newbie SovCit. Let's see what happens further on.
That carries 2 points and it requires that your license be suspended. So that could affect your ability to drive a car. And then the third count is a registration plate violation, which is a civil infraction. I don't know if there's any sort of plea offer at this point. It probably isn't. What was your advice, Ms. Jackson?
I advised him that he should plead not guilty, ask for a pretrial, and pay off what is suspending him, which is basically a couple of tickets, I believe, out of Greenwich County. See if he can't get some reduction on that charge.
That's not bad advice. Mr. Aiken, she's recommending at this point that you plead not guilty, and I don't have a problem with that. Your driving record shows that you had some previous insurance tickets that you didn't pay. And then she indicates you may also have some things from Indiana, LaGrange County. Look at this.
Branch, mean?
What's that?
Branch County.
Branch County. Okay, let me look at this because I did look at this yesterday. The staff has been talking with you. They say you're very polite and respectful, but may not completely understand everything. Your driving record shows that you are currently suspended. You do have an ID. You have Coldwater, March of 22, failed to comply with judgment.
I like Judge Middleton. He's always fair. I've never seen him where, in my opinion, he is not fair. And the guy will get a fair trial with this judge. It just depends on his attitude, I suppose, if he's going to do what the judge asks him to do, which they normally don't, right? They buy into the SovCit thing and Come hell or high water, this is what they now believe. These are special people. Only they know the truth. Crazy, man.
That means you didn't pay the ticket. And so her advice is probably pretty good. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, there's case laws here that states that the use of an automobile as necessary adjunct to the earnings of a livelihood as modern life requires use in the interest of realism to conclude the right to use as an automobile on the public highways partakes of nature of a liberty within the meaning of the constitutional guarantees. Barbarian versus Luzier, 1958, 139, A2D, 869. And then the right to operate a automobile upon the public streets and highways is not a mere privilege. It is a right of a liberty, the enjoyment of which is protected by the guarantees of the federal and state constitutions. Adam versus City of the Pocatello, 416 P.2D 46, 48, 91, Idaho, 99, 1966. And a traveler has an equal right to employ an automobile as a means of transportation and to occupy the public highways with other vehicles in common use. Campbell versus Walker, 78, Atlanta, 601, 603, 2 Boyce, Dell, 41. Also, the word automobile connotes a pleasure vehicle designed for the transportation of persons on highways. American Mutual Liability Insurance Co. versus Chaput 60, A.2 D2, 118. Motor vehicle, the term motor vehicle means every description of the carriage or otherwise convenience propelled or drawn by mechanical power and used for commercial purposes on the highways. The term used for commercial purposes means.
Yeah, I don't know. I think our judge might need a hairband, I don't know, elastic band, Alice band, or a haircut. Any of those will help with the hair that goes into the face. I don't know. The guy might just be too busy to get a haircut. I have no idea why he's got his hair that long. Still stems from the hippie era, I think. But I like the guy. He's a cool judge.
Carriage or a person or property for any fare, fee, rate, charge, or other considerations, or directly or indirectly in connection with any business or other undertakings intended for profit. A motor vehicle or automobile for hire is a motor vehicle other than an automobile stage used for the transportation of persons for which remuneration is received. International Motor Transit Co. versus Seattle 251 P120.
So does that mean you want to plead not guilty to this stuff?
Yes.
All right.
Because
I don't know if there's a club, you pay dues. As I said, the staff said you've been very polite and respectful, but you are woefully misinformed. People keep coming up with these.
I have one more thing. Okay.
Well, anyway, everything you just said has no meaning to whether or not you need a valid driver's license or insurance in the state of Michigan. And the problem is, Mr. Aiken, you could.
What I like about Judge Middleton, he would sit back and have you say your say. Say whatever you need to say. The biggest bunch of nonsense like this guy just spewed, He'll say nothing. He'll wait for you, respectfully, have you say your say. And then he will give his opinion on what you've said, which he's going to do now. Whether this guy is going to listen or not, it's a different story. But I can guarantee you, had this been in Judge Oakley's courtroom, that guy would never have gotten where he got as far as giving his word salad as on SovCitology. He'd never get to that. Judge Oakley would have cut him down a long time before he finished it. Judge Middleton, on the other hand, very respectful. Let the guy say his say, and then he will respond to that.
Take all this misinformation and really get yourself in a difficult circumstance. I don't know who's teaching you this, whether you learned it yourself off the internet or you've got a mentor that is taking you down this rabbit hole, but I don't want you to get yourself in a situation where you're going to have to live to be 99 years old to get your driver's license back. Right. So first of all, Mr. Jackson's advice that you pay the ticket in Branch County would be helpful. Everything you just said has a thimbles full an empty thimble's full worth of effect on anything. Your
Okay.
driver's license is suspended by the state of Michigan. You can travel all you want, but you can't drive a car until you get that cleared up. Secondly, you're not an independent nation unto yourself. You need insurance. I don't want you to get all sideways.
I
You
don't
can't
want to.
get your license back from following this irrelevant, meaningless information that you've been provided with. You seem like a nice young man. So I'm going to show you a plead not guilty. Would you give Mr. Aiken his birth certificate back? I don't want him to lose that.
Sure.
Now, you said there was something else you wanted to tell me?
Yes, if that's okay, Your Honor.
Yeah.
How can that not be good, sound advice that the judge has just given this guy now? How can it not be good and sound? I mean, it makes logical sense. You are not so special that you have your own country within the country, you know, but yet you use all the benefits of that country, but you're not part of that country because some of the things you don't like, but other things you do like, and you get benefit from them on various ways and means. Yeah, I mean, the judge reminds me of a father educating his son on life. Yeah, let's see if this guy's going to do it.
Okay, it states right here, under U.S. Supreme Court decision, that common law is the real law, the supreme law of the land, that codes, rules, regulations, policy, and statutes are not the law. So therefore, as in insurance, regulations, title, tags are not law. That's as it's stated here, Rodriguez versus Ray Donovan, U.S. Department of Labor, 1769, or 769 F 2D, 1344, 1348, 1985. And then U.S. Supreme Court decision 1796, there every man is independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions formed by his fellow men without his consent, Cruden versus Neal. And then this decision has never been overturned.
Okay, I'm not sure where you get this stuff. If that were true, you wouldn't need me, you wouldn't need police, you'd have anarchy and people rioting in the streets and we're about there now. People do whatever they feel like. If somebody says something they don't like, they shoot them. Somebody says something they don't like, they punch them in the nose. They feel like everybody else's property is their property. There's something here in the United States, here in Michigan and here in St. Joe County called the rule of law. And the judges don't make the laws, the legislature does. The judges are sworn to enforce them. So at this point, somebody gave you all this information, which doesn't really affect anything, and it isn't a legitimate defense. You're entitled to have it. You're entitled to be misinformed. I can't, and you're entitled to believe what you want.
Now, isn't that the truth? You can believe what you want. You can be as misinformed as you want to be. But that is no excuse if you break the laws of the land. You are held to the same, standard as any other person in that country. You are held responsible to keep up with the laws of the land. And you're not special. You don't have your own laws. Not in a country that exists already. That would be anarchy. Totally anarchy.
You're entitled to have a trial in front of 6 jurors.
Well, we can do that. We'll go
This isn't even, that stuff won't even get to a jury. The only question would be, did you have insurance and were you driving? Anyway, as I said, I don't want you to get on the driving suspended merry-go-round and you'd be unable to get off of it. Whoever is giving you this information is doing you a terrible disservice. You got these tickets in other jurisdictions that you didn't pay. Now you're suspended. How'd you get here today?
I got a ride. Somebody gave me a ride.
All right. Well, don't drive anymore until we sort this out. I would like to see you get back on the right side of having a driver's license. This stuff is not helpful. It doesn't aid your cause. It has little meaning. And The bottom line is you need to have a valid driver's license. You need to have insurance. This stuff doesn't carry any lawful weight in any court in the state of Michigan. So I'm going to show you're pleading not guilty. We'll send you out to the court office. We'll have a pretrial. You can share your thoughts and beliefs with the prosecutor. It'll probably just make them mad. But Miss Jackson's advice is a good one. If you can go get the tickets paid off, get your license available to get it, they may give you some consideration. But you live in Constantine, which is a little place.
Right.
Every time you drive, they're going to pull you over again.
Yeah, that's
We're going to
different.
be on the merry-go-round and we won't be able to get off of it. So, like I said, you've always been polite and respectful, and you're entitled to believe what you want, but this isn't helpful to your cause.
Yeah, Judge, that's good advice. That's sound advice. Only problem is I think this guy's not going to take it. He's had a sip of the SovCit drink, and he's convinced that this is good for him because there's benefits to that. He doesn't have to be held to the same standard as you and I when we drive down the road. That's what it is. That's just what it is, unfortunately.
So we'll get a pretrial, let you share that information with the prosecutor, see what they want to do. But Ms. Jackson's advice, I think, is good advice.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Aiken, why don't you take him out to the counter? Now, what's going to happen next, and I apologize, once upon a time, we used to do the pretrial right here at the time of the arraignment. But with county cases, we're not able to do that presently. Are you missing work right now?
No, not right now.
Okay, good. I don't want you to have to take time off from work to come back here, but we'll talk further about this. And if you want a trial, you're ultimately entitled to have one. My hope is you could get some of this stuff squared away and the prosecutor will give you some consideration to help you get your valid license back. But when you were young, you took driver's ed, you did all the steps you needed to do to get a valid license.
Correct. I did then. That was before I actually started researching into law, actual common law of the United States of America, which is common law, God's law. Legal is undoing of God's law, illegally. That's what it comes down to. I mean, I know you don't know it. It's just there's a whole bunch of fraud.
Well, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I've been here for 42 years. And
Well, Judge, your problem is you've been there for 42 years, as you say. But you're part of a corporation, right? Bought and paid for. You're not allowed to practice law from the bench, I think they said. These guys, they believe in a total different system. It does not matter what you tell them. They will not believe you. Very few of them will convert back to what we see as a reality of life because they find it convenient to believe what they believe. So much easier to not have the responsibility as far as, getting a license, insurance, pay for your tax, all those nonsense things that we have to do. They don't want to do it because they think it's convenient for them to not do it. That's unfortunate so. And I don't think this guy is going to change. I appreciate what you're doing there. I appreciate the input you give into his life, but that's water wasted, man. That's water wasted. There's going to be no growth here, I think.
people have been making these harebrained arguments for years and they don't carry any weight. And I'm sorry that you have gone down this path, but it isn't going to be beneficial. And the better, and you went to all the effort to get a driver's license. Don't throw it away because of some mistaken beliefs about something that was rendered in 1796. So anyway, we'll send you out for a pretrial and we'll see where this goes. But I appreciate the fact that you are polite, respectful, and you have a right to believe misinformation if you want to, but it isn't in your best interest. All right, good luck, sir. We'll probably talk further.
Your Honor, Deputy Tyler looked on the cameras for that gentleman, and he could not see him driving
All right.
on camera view.
We don't have the other, just don't drive. Same for you. Stop driving and just make it worse and more expensive and harder to get it.
All right, so that's where this video ends. Now you tell me, do you think this young man will convert and come back to what we see as the reality of life? or is he going to go down that route of soft-cytology? I don't see him coming back. I think it's too convenient for him at this point in time. The judge gave him all the facts, and yet he still argues for his soft-cytology. I don't think he's going to come back. That's just what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.